Hey everyone, compression is a most popular tool in audio production today, and I'm going to show you how to quickly and easily use one here in Studio One. Let's take a look. You're going to hear the term compression quite a bit in audio production, and it's really important to understand how powerful and creative this tool can really be so you can not really abuse it, but be more creative with it. In this example, what we're looking at here is my acoustic guitar picking. Basically, this song has what's called dynamics. There's a difference between the peak loud points and the quiet points. This range is called the dynamics of the performance. This is the air in the song. And that's important because it's going to be different based on any kind of track and instrument that you're working with. That's understood. So being able to how to modify and manipulate your compressors according to the base material, but more importantly, what is your goal is really what you want to understand. However, fortunately for us, there's some basic fundamentals to all compressors. And then what you do with it from there is up to you. Let's take a listen quickly to this guitar performance. Okay, so we've got quite an attack here on the picking. What if we wanted to level that out a little bit? Think of a compressor as like an automatic volume control. Now, if you had to go in and do these all by hand, it would just drive you insane. So a compressor is like an assistant. It'll help you control the volume dynamics of this performance so we can make it sit in the mix a little bit better. Let's go back to our mix window. I'm going to open my browser, and included with Presonus, we have the compressor. I'm going to select this and drag it onto my acoustic guitar track and let it go. Now you can see it's in my first insert slot here, and it's on by default. Now, the fundamentals, as I mentioned before, are really simple. You've got a ratio, a threshold, your knee, you've got an attack and a release, and a gain. And then some will include a mix knob for blending between the original and the process signals and such. But these generally 5, maybe 6 processes are all you need. The ratio is going to allow you to control here, if you watch the graphical user interface, how much the audio is going to be turned down when it reaches a certain threshold level. Let's play the audio and watch the metering here. What I'll do here is come back to this window and let's set here, let me zoom out a little bit here. Nice. All right, and let's draw in just a little bit of a loop for us. Right from there to I'll deactivate, yeah, okay. Right about there, great. Now I'll activate loop. Now it's gonna loop for us when we're playing it back. All right, let's do that again. Open our compressor. And you'll notice that this is the volume. Here's your input and your output. So the ratio and the threshold are two of your most important tools, and they need to blend together. Here I'm exaggerating the effect. A ratio of 1 to 1 is no effect. And as I do this, it's turning it down by a ratio of, in this example, 5.2 to 1. 5 decibels to 1 decibel there. And your knee is really cool. This is going to be how hard or how soft you want the compressor to kick in. Literally, kick. Think of kick in the word knee. Watch as that graph changes. I can have a smooth, gradual knee or a tough kick in the pants right there. This might cause a sound that's relative to something called pumping. Now, that's also a creative technique. Pumping, it's when you hear the compressor working really loud. But that's something we can get into in another video. Let's take a listen to this. You hear how it's very aggressive, the compressor working? And we can smooth it out. There. So the ratio and the threshold, they work in concert together, and blending these two together to help you get the right balance between what you're looking to achieve is really important. And then you can tweak how you want the compressor to kick in. All right. And always watch your metering here. It's really important. This is your input and your output. And a look ahead is included here. What this does is it's an advanced function. It looks ahead a couple of milliseconds to prepare the compressor in advance to give you better quality. Stereo link here will allow you, if you put this on a stereo track, right now it's on a mono track, which is one wave file on one track. But if you put this on a stereo track, it'll link it. What that means is it'll sum the audio and it'll allow the compressor to not read the energy in 2 different speakers, but as if it was right down the middle, so it can have more of a summed information to work the compressor towards, okay? Now your input gain will change the input volume if you needed to do that. Watch. All right. And let's see. Next is your gain. Auto. What auto will do is it'll keep a equal volume in and equal volume out for you. Because when you're working with compressors, you're changing the volume really of those peaks and the dynamics. Here's with it on. And here's off. Okay. Now I can turn it up, do it manually, or turn it down. So there are gain stages included with most compressors here, an input gain stage and an output gain stage. Now, as I said before, mix will allow you to blend the original signal with the compressed signal. So you can blend the two if you wanted to back it off a little bit. I actually like the sound of that there a little bit. Next comes the all-important attack time. How quickly do you want the compressor to work? Not how quickly you want it to be active, but at what point do you want it to start compressing into the material? With an aggressive attack, I might want a fast attack to really catch those quick transients. Because if you look at this, you'll see that I have some very sharp peaks there. It's kind of like a snare drum hit in a lot of ways. So if you want it to start working quickly, you want a fast attack. Medium attack is generally good for vocals and such, and a long attack for more acoustic instruments and chords and such. If you want to really draw out the sound of that instrument. And the release is when. Now this actually comes in a couple different terms. You'll hear hold or release. Basically, it's how long the compressor is going to stay active before it releases back to the original dynamics. In this case, 120 milliseconds. So a fast release will let go quicker, and a longer release time will hold it longer. See? Tomato, tomato. Now, under auto, you can, if you select this, you see the attack and release went to automatic mode. It's because it's going to use a parameter built into the compressor to decide for you. It's going to use an average. So auto does make things a little bit simple, and it might work great on something that you know is more consistent, like a snare drum hit or a kick drum hit, for example. So that's a really nice, handy little feature. But auto and adaptive is, in addition to auto, it allows you to make some slight automatic changes. It doesn't just take an average of the energy and apply an automatic attack and release. It'll be adaptive and more flexible and vary that information. This might be better for like a musical instrument that has some consistency to it, like a strumming guitar pattern. All right. Now, sidechaining is something we'll get into in another video here, but I basically wanted to show you these fundamental features that come with generally every compressor. But here in the Studio One compressor, you've got some advanced features like look ahead, stereo link, automatic and adaptive, auto adaptive here too. Plus you got the blend, the mix knob between the original and processed signal. Very easy to use, very powerful. And again, as I always say, the best way to understand this is to really dive in and experiment for yourself. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, and thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Leave your comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to download that cheat sheet in the description below.